What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a loose graded vintage Star Wars market update. Mainly loose variants from the Kenner line. We've got some Lily Lettys. We've got a few Spanish figures. We've even got some Polish bootlegs that were graded by UKG that the Muffin Man sold at auction. So I was kind of curious to see how those would do, especially because I have every single one of the ones that he listed. And I didn't pull up all of them, so don't worry. This is not a bootleg only video, but some pretty interesting stuff out there, and the prices were not terribly surprising. If I was surprised by any of them, they were surprises on the low end. They went for less than I expected. So it was just kind of a fun watch for a lot of these. I didn't bid on any of these, and I hope that some of you were able to pick up a few of them. But some pretty cool items this past weekend. We're going to start off with You Changed. He had some Lily Lettys that I wanted to cover. This is the China COO Lily Letty Lando Calrissian. I've got this one in an AFA 80. This one was a UKG 75%. And I do like how UKG does this now. A number of you have mentioned this, where they put like the Lily Letty or the PvP or the POC sticker on there, on the case itself. I just think that's kind of a cool thing to do for display. I wish that CAS or AFA would do that as well. I just think it looks nice. And it doesn't detract from the case, in my opinion. I think it looks really cool. It would be really cool if they etched it into the case, right? It was like colored, kind of like etched thing instead of a sticker that could eventually peel off. But I think that would be really cool if you could pay extra and get like an etched Lily Letty logo in there. That would be pretty cool, but probably a pipe dream. This one did sell for 97 pounds, which is $118. I thought that was a really good deal. They don't sell for that loose, ungraded, complete on Facebook. I mean, that's a bargain of a deal for a Lily Letty Lando. Next up was an 85 grade Lily Letty Prune Face. And this one sold for 180 pounds, which is $218. Another very fair price. I've seen these sell ungraded on Facebook. You know, again, you don't know what the grade is, but this one was an 85. And, you know, this was probably about 50 bucks more than what they can go for on eBay. I mean, excuse me, on Facebook. So to me, that's a really fair price for a nice high grade. They labeled this one as Prune Face Pink Hands. So I'm assuming that there's more than one variation for the Lily Letty Prune Face, but I couldn't tell you. I mean, I've seen pink hands, I've seen soft sculpt, I've seen hard sculpt. I mean, all kinds of different sculpts from CAS, but I can't keep up with it all. It's exhausting trying to keep up with variations. Here's one I do have. This is the Death Squad Commander graded 85. I think mine's an 80. I can't remember. I don't know how I got the 85 with the paint wear on the belt buckle there. That seems very generous score from AFA or from UKG. That's not an 85 in my opinion. But that one did sell for 156 pounds, which is 189 bucks. Again, a fair price. I think mine's an 80 grade. And I paid 100 bucks for mine, ungraded. So, you know, 189 is not terrible, I think, for what's really probably an 80 grade at best. But pretty good deal there. This one I thought was a very fair deal. This was the Lily Letty Boba Fett. And I couldn't tell. Let's see. This one is the double scar. This is the double, I think, the double scar variation. How you tell the difference is on the right-hand leg, there's a scar up here, which is very clear. But then some of them have also a scar down here, which I think this one does have. It's hard to tell. But there's a single scar and a double scar. That one looks to me like the double scar. It's not labeled as such. It just says no COO scar on the label. But there are two different scar variations for the Lily Letty Boba Fett. This was an 80 grade, and it sold for 475 pounds, which is $576. Another very, very fair price for a nice high-grade example. UKG 85% Letty Obi-Wan. That one sold for $274 US. That's a price I would have paid all day long. That's one I really want at some point, but I just didn't feel like spending any money this week. I've got a pretty good little nest egg going in my PayPal account from selling some stuff, but I was just exhausted this weekend. I was too tired. I mean, I got basketball practice, volleyball practice. We've got a church group for the kids. We've got some kind of like manners class for my daughter because she eats like a hyena. And she doesn't use a fork. She just like stuffs stuff in her face. So we started making her take manners lessons. Volleyball, I think I said that. I mean, it's exhausting. By Sunday night, when a lot of these auctions are ending, I just want to watch football and be left alone and not talk to anybody. I don't have time to look on eBay. So I let them all go, but they were some pretty cool items. But I thought that was a very fair price. UKG 85% leady, and this is the Luke Bespin. This was a steal. I mean, I paid a lot more for mine, for my UKG 85. Excuse my voice. All this ranting has made my voice dry. That one sold for $280, 340 US dollars. That's a good deal. That's a really, really good deal on a high grade Luke Bespin Lily Letty. I mean, that's not a price that you usually see. So I thought a lot of these ended way below expectations. This one went right in line with expectations. You know, I had this in my what to buy video. This is the Leia Bespin Letty. And there was an AFA 80 Plus that sold from Jeff's Collectible Empire a few months back. And I think it sold for around $660, if memory served. And I think I said in my what to buy video, I said this will probably sell around $600. And that's about what it sold for. It sold for 485 pounds, which is 589 US dollars. That's a price I'd pay all day long. I mean, I'm sorry, that's a really good price. It's a very tough to find variant. And I mean, for a while there, they were going for over $1,000 ungraded, even on Facebook. So to get it graded, pretty high grade, you know, for half that price or ish, that's a price I would absolutely pay. So I think that was a good pickup. Some autographed items, I thought these were like kind of custom encased autographed items. This was a Peter Mayhew signed photograph along with a UKG 85% Chewbacca. That sold for 205 pounds, which is about 250 US dollars. The Squid Head Gerald Home. This was pretty cool looking. I like the pose on the photo there. And I know one of you bought this and you used the affiliate link that I had in my what to buy video. So I want to say thanks to whoever did that. I got a whopping $2.75 commission on that. So, but I want to say thanks, whoever it was. I don't know if it was a Patreon supporter or just a regular viewer of the channel, but you did end up using the links that I provided in that what to buy video. And, you know, it doesn't cost you anything, but it sends a very small payout to help the channel and help for channel expenses. So I appreciate whoever it was that bought that. But I thought that was a really cool item. That was a UKG 90%. And that one sold for $275, 227 pounds. I just love that pose, though. He's like thinking, like, why on earth did I agree to be the accountant for Jabba the Hutt? This guy is a slime ball and he eats live frogs. Why am I his accountant? That's what he's thinking in that photo. I just love the photo. Really great item, though. Next up is a signed Emperor's Royal Guard photograph. This was signed by, I don't know who played it. Let's see. It doesn't say who signed. Let's see. I was trying to see. Oh, Quentin Pierre. That's right. Quentin Pierre. He's the Emperor's Royal Guard. I think he played a number of different characters, but Quentin Pierre, pretty awesome signature too. I like the bright silver on the signature. That one sold for 155 pounds, which is $189. I mean, that's a good deal. That's if you're into Star Wars autographs, it's kind of a cool custom to have the autograph next to the figure, and that really displays nicely. So good pickup there. This seller had some really high-grade CAS items. This was a CAS 85 Hong Kong COO 3-line. This is the 3-line COO. And I've heard that some 3-line COOs could be paired with double telescoping sabers, but most of them are 2-line. But this was a 3-line COO, Hong Kong, 85 grade. That one sold for $305, which is a bargain. I mean, I would have paid $350 all day long for that. That's a really good deal there. Next up was a Blue Snag CAS 80. This one had the toe dent. That's one I still need. I've got the no toe dent, but I would like the toe dent. So I was kind of tempted on this one, and it stayed low, actually, $526.99. That's a good deal for a fairly high grade. And you can see how harsh they are on the grading. I mean, the boots look perfect. The belt looks perfect. It has no discoloration to the torso. It just has some very light chipping to the hand paint. But it's still only got an 80. But look how beautiful those boots are. No discoloration. CAS, AFA, and UKG, they grade Blue Snags very harshly. So that's a really good deal at $527. Really, really nice deal. Next up was a Han Solo Carbonite CAS 85. That sold for $258. That seems to be the going rate for a CAS 85. An AFA 85 might set you back as high as like $300, $325. But that's one I was kindly gifted by a number of friends who came to town back in May. Matt Neef and Charles and Chris and whoever else was involved with the buying of that. They bought me a 85 plus grade CAS Han Solo Carbonite loose graded as a gift. So that was really nice. But that one was an 85. That one sold for $258. Good deal there. And then the same seller also had the A-Wing Pilot CAS 85 plus. That sold for $320. Another very fair price, I think, for a nice looking A-Wing pilot. And I think the last one before we dig into the Polish bootlegs is the Droid Factory R2-D2. This one I sent out in a buy it now alert, I believe, or I had it in a what to buy video. I can't remember. But that one was nice. And it did have the sticker peeling off a little bit. I think it was a what to buy video because I vaguely remember talking about it. But that sticker was peeling off, which does happen. But, you know, it is what it is. That one's sold for $303 in a buy it now situation. So I don't know if one of y'all bought that or not, but I thought that was a good buy there. No, wait, I got a few more. I got some Spanish figures. This was a dark brown PBP Rebel Soldier graded UKG 80%. That one sold right before the video went live. So I marked it as sold in the video description for that what to buy video. So I don't know if one of y'all bought it or not, but I thought that was a really good deal. It was listed at 340 pounds, which is $413 US, but they took a buy it or a make an offer. I didn't look it up what it sold for, but I'm assuming about 360, 370, somewhere in that ballpark in terms of US dollars. So I thought that was a good one. And then another one that sold was the PBP Dark Boots Luke Bespin. That one sold for 300 pounds, which is 358 US dollars. That's another really fair price in my mind. Very high grade. It was graded 85. Why I have no idea. He's missing his eyebrows there. But, you know, again, Spanish figures, they're known for terrible paint apps, okay? So UKG, of all the grading companies, UKG is very fast and loose with PBP figures and POC figures. And I think they should be, right? I mean, they have the most expertise on the Spanish figures because they get the most submissions. Most of these Spanish figures are getting submitted to UKG. So they have a good idea. They have a good feel for what's an 85, what's an 80, what's a 75. Now, this one very well could have missed the eyebrows during the paint process at the factory. So maybe they're not worn off. So I'll say that. But anyway, I would have no problem with it. I think it's really cool, actually. He looks like, he looks like he lost his eyebrows. So that's, it is what it is. But pretty cool figure. 85% was the grade. We can debate the grade all you want to, but at the end of the day, it's a Spanish PBP Luke Bespin, and you get it for $358. I mean, that's a good buy in my mind. I'd pay that all day long. And then we got the Polish figures now. I got a bunch of them. I didn't pull up all of them, but I pulled up a number of them. These are all figures I've got in my collection. So selfishly, I wanted to see what they would sell for, just to kind of keep tabs on values. This is the third generation Polish bootleg Biker Scout in the black and gray color scheme. I call this one the Stealth Scout. I think he looks awesome. I love that color scheme. That one sold for 282 pounds, which is $343. The third gen AT-AT driver sold for 227 pounds, which is $275. That was a 90 grade, which it should be. That's, most of these 1990s third generation Polish bootlegs, they're pretty easy to find in high grade for the most part. The Death Star Gunner was another third gen. That one sold for 208 US dollars. I've got that exact same color scheme, but mine's not as high graded, but that was a nice one. Really, really clean example. And here's the Chewbacca. This is a first gen. This is kind of like mid 1980s, unarticulated. So not as, they're a little bit more rudimentary in terms of the manufacturing process. It's just a static figure. That one was graded 80%, a little bit generous probably on the grade, but that one sold for 121 pounds, which is 150-ish US dollars. Probably a fair price. I've got a blue bag version. This one had red eyes and a red bag. So there's, usually whatever color the bag is what color they paint the eyes. And I think, I'm looking at mine right now. I think mine's got a blue bag and blue eyes. So this one had red bag, red eyes. Third gen Polish bootleg Leia. Pretty ugly figure, but I've got two of these myself. This one was graded UKG 85%. That one sold for 295 US dollars, or about 243 pounds. Here's a third gen TIE Fighter palette, kind of in Kenner colors. I don't have one in Kenner colors. I think I've got a first gen with like green paint apps, but pretty cool looking figure there. I like how it matches the Kenner colors. That one sold for about 200 US bucks. And then a General Lando third gen. That one sold for 170 pounds, which is 206 US dollars. So you can see a theme going. They're all kind of 150 to 250 US dollars, depending on grade and the character. One of my favorites is the Silver Hoth Stormtrooper third gen. That one sold for 133 pounds, which is 161 US dollars. I thought that was a really good deal, really. I mean, this is kind of the most, in my opinion, for the third gens, other than Boba Fett, this is kind of one of the more desirable ones because the color scheme is so unique. It's like, why did they paint it silver? It's so weird, right? But I just love the way it looks. It's just a cool looking figure. But $161 for that, I think that's a really good buy for a 90 grade. It's a UKG 90. So good buy on that one as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at recent sales for bootlegs, vintage foreign variants from the Lily Letty and Spanish factories, as well as just the straight Kenner figures. Lots of good deals out there. Some of them came in below expectations, but for the most part, they're kind of in line with what fair market values are these days. Thanks again, and I'll be back soon.